buongiorno, and buona festa della Repubblica. Do you know what that means? Today, June 2nd, every year, is the feast, the festival, the celebration of the Republic in Italy. It's the day they became a republic. So, you wear your flag around your neck. Actually, this is my Italian soccer, Forza, wait a minute, what you say? This side says Forza Italia, because, that's my soccer team. Now, today we're going to make something that's really fun for the summer, especially when you end up with a lot of zucchini eventually. Okay, so one of the things we do, typical in Italy, is we save old jars. So we've got all these different kind of jars. And we make things that are what they call sottaceto, sottolio, okay, all these kind of things. And it basically means it's pickled vegetables and things like that. So we are going to pickle, so to speak, put sottaceto under vinegar, some zucchini. Now, I have made pickled eggplant on here before, and that's one animal, but this is another. So now there's two ways that I've had friends that I've learned from over the years and family to do this. You can make them in little cubetti, which is little teeny weeny cubes, or you can make them, you can almost take like a peeler and peel them real fine and thin, like long. Now, you can do it really fine and thin with a knife, but you can also just do real fine pieces like this. And you get these little skinny pieces. Now that's fun also. So we're gonna do two different ways. We're gonna do some in the cubes, because those are fun, and you can do different things with them, So we're gonna cut these in like, what are these, 1/4 inch? You can make them pretty much any size you want. Now, okay, we're going to take them and then cut them long ways into little long skinny things. You could even, if you wanted, do them in pieces like this and, make them almost pickle-like. So, but I'm gonna make these two ways today. Now, one of the other traditional ways to do these in my hometown is in the rounds. Almost like a pickle. Like a pickle. So, we're gonna make a couple different ways. But I love the little cubetti. For me, they're kind of fun. You can put them on a sandwich. Also, these long skinny ones, you could do the same thing. You can put them on a sandwich, pile them up like, this is beautiful part of an antipasto. Okay, so just look at all that made. That's probably one of these little jars. So my favorite thing, I love these little jars. Sometimes you get jams in them, but I love them because they almost look like they've got little, they don't really have real handles, but they've got these little bumps on them. They look very, Italian, like little, I don't know, like little barrels or with, I don't know, I'm a goof. But anyway, I love these tall, skinny, like olive jars. And of course, these little ones are the mini, like jelly jars from, these are like mason jars. But what these are nice for, if you want to just give some away, let somebody taste some of these little jars are the perfect size. Also, if you want to go on a picnic, just take a little one. Okay, just saying. So let's cut up this one here too. I love them skinny like this. These are really nice. You just put them, lay them out on a plate at the dinner table, and you kind of have this at the end of the meal, like part of your vegetables, or it could be part of your antipasto, or it could be part of your your kind of seconds, your secondo, your contorni, which are your sides, and you can do that, and it's like, I don't know, it's just like a nice little, almost like a palate cleanser in a way. And you may end up with a little, chunk at the end that you can't peel. That's when you get the knife out. That's why it's always good to do, if you're going to do one kind, do both kinds, because then at the end you can just, do this one like little cubes. And then you save yourself from wasting or putting chunks in your fine ones, which you don't want to do. Because, you want it to be all uniform. Okay, now I'm going to just take what's left of this little cube here and put it with the cubetti. Doesn't cubetti sound cuter than cubes? Okay, sorry. So, you can use words. American language is made up of so many words that have been adopted from other languages, and lots of them Italian. Okay, so what you do now, I have equal parts. There's water in here, and this is vinegar. I've got a little bit more vinegar than water. I think that's just enough. So it's basically like, this is bigger than a cup, so it's probably about 3 cups of liquid in here. You just want enough to cover it up, and since I'm not making a whole bunch at one time right now, this is just right. Okay, we're gonna put the cubes in first because they're gonna take longer to cook, which all of 3 minutes. You basically wanna just put these in for about 3 minutes. These, once the water is boiling, actually ideally you really kind of wanna wait till, my water was already hot, so it'll be back at a boil in a minute. So we're gonna let those cook up in the vinegar water just for a minute. Now, some people put salt in it, some people don't. I'm just gonna put a quick little pinch. You know, it helps preserve and gives a little flavor. But honestly, most of the time that I make all these pickled things, I put very little, if any, salt in it. So now some of the flavors that you can put in here, you can put in depending on how you like it. Like where I come from, my village, Roseto, everything's very simple. So they might put a pinch of salt in. They really don't use a lot of black pepper in Roseto. I use black pepper because I like it. But that's personal preference, and that can go anywhere in the world. Everybody can take a traditional thing and personalize it. But one of the things that they do a lot of, which I find really fun, is mint. Mint, oh God, I just picked this a minute ago, and now my hands, I'm just picking it up. It's just mint. Anyway, plant your mint in a pot or a piece of garden that is blocked, like segregated, because this stuff will spread. So unless you have a lot of space, it will spread like a weed, but it's a wonderfully smelling weed. Just make sure you don't spray anything yucky next to it. So this I have in a pot at the moment. But anyway, okay, so you can take little pieces of this. Once you have your pickled zucchini, put a little teeny bit of this like in the jar, like the same way you would put basil in with your canned tomatoes. Oh, so good. So I'm just going to take a couple of leaves here and just cut them up, have them ready. But I'm not going to cut them too little because I want them to be visible because I think they're pretty. Just cut the big leaves in there. Actually, we'll probably do a little bit more because I'm going to make 2 jars here, one with the little teeny skinny ones and one with the with the cubetti. So we don't want these to get too soft because otherwise they just get, oops, there's one little piece there. There we go. We don't want them to get mushy. We want them to have a little bite to them, so to speak. You want to be able to make them, I guess you would call it al dente, to the tooth, so that you have a little bit of something when you bite into it and it's not just mush. To the tooth, not just mush. Okay, so anyway, so what I'm going to do is, oh God, I'm so excited for this. I'm in a mood for the skinny ones. I love the little cubetti. And like I said, they're good on sandwiches. They're good with cheeses and meats on an antipasto because it gives you a little bit of that tangy flavor. Another day, we're going to make the giardiniera, which is all the vegetables that are all under oil, like the ones you see in the Italian stores. You know, it's got the cauliflower and carrots and peppers and onion and celery and all that other stuff. It's good stuff. So anyway, but it's very, very simple. So these jars are already cleaned. We're going to put, I think the cubetti will fit in here. If not, they'll fit in here. And then we'll put those cute little ones in the other jar. It's very exciting. And this literally takes like a minute in the, see, that's water's boiling. We're going to let it go probably 1 more minute and then boom, done. Okay, so that's just about done. I'm going to get my spoon here and I'm going to take it out, but I'm going to put it in a bowl instead of straight to the jar just because I want to make sure I don't, you know, spill them out all over the place. So these have been boiling probably 3-4 minutes, which is good. Let me see here. Yeah, they've got just a little, you can see it's just a little teeny bit change of color because of the vinegar. So it's gotten a little darker green. And that's one last one. Okay, we got those there, and real quick, I'm gonna throw those in. Boom, And let's just, but that's going to be, no joke, just about a minute. And I did turn it down a little because I don't want it to overcook. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this. I'm going to get a smaller spoon. Because I want it to fit in the cute skinny jar. I think it's going to be just enough. And if you don't fill the whole jar, it's okay. Because, you know, we're going to eat this today or tomorrow. Now, when you do these, they will sit in the fridge for a good, probably 2 weeks. But you want to eat these up. Now, there's other ways to do them where you're going to do them and they're going to last longer. It's almost like they're, you know, jarred, canned. Oops, I got to eat that one. Yum. Just do these very carefully. It's okay, there's some juice in here, but we're going to put some of that, as soon as that's done, we're going to put some of that vinegar water in here and cover them up. So now in the meantime, let's just double check this. Now, these are different. So let's get a tongue. Oh, yeah. Those are done. So let's take, see those were quickie because they're so skinny. Look at them. But they still have some body and life to them. Like I said, if you cook them even a minute too long, they're mush. One of the things that's, you know, I'm always talking about being at the table, but sometimes in order to get people to the table, they've got to be hungry. And when you've got, now that we're getting back to real life, now it is summertime, so it's going to be different. Okay, we're going to take some of this mint. We're going to put this in here. Then I'm just going to take the bottom of the spoon and just kind of push it down inside. Just going to give a little of that essence. Oops, there's another piece of zucchini. Now we're going to take a little bit of the juice from the pot and just fill this up. Now, some people will put oil in these things. I'm gonna kind of do this. So I want it to get like all the way, there we go, throughout. Now I'm gonna put some more on top. Because you want them to stay covered. Okay, there we go. A little piece of mint there. Now you're gonna let these cool off, but they're gonna kind of seal because you put hot on here, so this is gonna suck in. But isn't that pretty? You got some little mint leaves in there. I put just that pinch of salt in, that's up to you. Now, some people will put these with olive oil in them. They'll do this, the vinegar thing, and then oil them, kind of the way I do my eggplant. You can do that too. Up to you. There's different ways. There's actually so many different ways. So over time, I'll show you different recipes and you can find which one you like the best. So now I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put some of the mint in. Skinny piece. Oh, love these. Put some of the mint in. Now, if you don't like mint, you don't have to do the mint. This is just one way to do it. I love these little skinny ones. And those are good on a sandwich because you can lay them flat or you can kind of like squiggle them or whatever. And I'm going to put some of this on top of these. Oops, kind of spilled that one. A little more. Okay. Put the lid on because you got a nice hot lid. Now these aren't canning lids, but they will still seal to a certain degree. And this with the hot will suck down. And here we go. We've got these beautiful jars of little cubetti and little strisce, actually, you know what? I'm gonna put a little more, oh, that's hot jar. I want those to be, you always want a little extra covered on top. Make sure they're fully covered. That way nothing's sticking out, nothing will, you know, go bad. Okay, there we go. So we've got these two beautiful little jars here, which we're probably gonna have this evening with our dinner. We'll have dinner time, you know, we always have very light, a little bit of meat, a little bit of vegetables, so we'll have a little bit of these pickled. These are good in a salad. They're good, just like I said, as a side dish. You know, you can cut them a little thicker if you cut them by knife instead of by peeler, and they're more like a little side dish. This is more like a condiment, you know, the real fine ones, although they are just fun to eat. You know, you put them in a little bowl, take a couple pieces. It's a nice little, you know, flavor that gives you that little So anyway, So I hope you try this. It's very simple. And like I said, there's other ways to do it. Now, the other thing too, you can have them like this in the vinegar. Take them out, drained. Okay, not in the vinegar. And then you can kind of dress them after. So if you want to put olive oil and maybe some onion or some garlic, or just leave them like they are, but just put a little oil in them, take them out without the vinegar. They'll have enough vinegar soaked in them, and then you can oil them. You can also do what we just did, boil them in the vinegar and put them in the jar with olive oil. It's up to you. There really isn't a wrong way, or I should say there isn't a right way. There's a bunch of right ways. I'm sure there's a wrong way. I just don't know what it is. But anyway, everybody have a wonderful day, and thank you all for continuing to watch. Please enjoy the blooper reel, and watch it. Let me know what you think. And it's going to go up on my YouTube channel here in the next day or so also, but it's on my Facebook page. So check it out. It was posted probably just before this video. So have a wonderful day. Mwah. Ciao, ciao.